Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to Planet Marzipan, the Fish and Marillion podcast. I'm Meza, and here's my mate.
Craig Houston.
Hello, welcome to Planet Marzipan. I'm Meza. I'm here with my good friend.
Hey,
Hello, Craig.
hi, come on.
And we welcome back from the last podcast, Nathan Page.
Hello.
Hi, Nath. Mikey Kay.
Hello again.
Hello, sir. Grae Tennick.
Hello.
Hello, and Mark Owens.
Hey.
Hello, boys. In part one, we talked about With Friends from the Orchestra album. If you've not listened to it already, go back and listen to that before you listen to this. In part two, we're going to talk about the tour, and we're going to focus on Marillion With Friends at St David's live album, recorded in Cardiff. So the tour started, it was two legs. It was a UK leg and a European leg, and the UK leg started in Liverpool on the 1st of November 2019 at the Philharmonic, and it ended at the Royal Albert Hall, 2 nights at the Royal Albert Hall on the 18th and 19th of November. The band then went into Europe, and I'm just clicking because I've moved off the page I was on.
They did.
The following
2 gigs
year,
in
wasn't it?
Netherlands,
Was it
2 gigs in
2020?
Italy,
Yeah.
2 gigs in France, and 2 gigs in Germany.
There you go. I said that without moving my lips there, didn't I? So yeah, 6th of December started in Holland, and the 16th of December it ended in Germany.
Where in Holland did it start, John?
Yeah, in Holland. Yeah,
Yeah.
concert-
Let's have a go for it, John. Let's
concert
hear
Gabao.
pronunciation.
the concert Gabao that's made famous by McCartney and Wings. I'm not doing it. Craig's the one who offends our European listeners.
Well, I'll let you this time.
I can't believe the album's 5 years old.
Oh, all right. We going there at the beginning of the pod.
God.
Set list for the first night of the tour: Gaza, New Kings, Estonia, Collection, Ocean Cloud, Hollow Man, Season's End, Sky Above the Rain, Separated Out, and This Strange Engine. It got longer, didn't it?
It extended itself a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went to see it in Gateshead, Craig, the set list was as follows. We had Gaza, followed by Fantastic Place, then Season's End, Estonia, The New Kings, The Hollow Man, Sky Above the Rain, The Great Escape. Encore 1 was Afraid of Sunlight and Separated Out, and Encore 2 was The Strange Engine.
I remember it being a cracking gig, and to be fair, I wish they'd put The Great Escape and Afraid of Sunlight and that into the Cardiff gig, because obviously they are two of my favourite songs. But not that I'm being biased.
we were definitely spoiled with that set list at our gig there, and a crying shame they're not on the live album.
Yeah, because I say apart from doing Gateshead, I did Cardiff with Mark.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about Cardiff shortly. It was the last but 2 gig, wasn't it? St David's Hall. The 2 Alberts followed that. I
didn't do them, but Mark and Vanessa did them, and they came and stayed with me afterwards.
Right. Did the set list change out into Europe much? Man of a Thousand Faces, The Space got added?
No, so on the UK tour, from my count, they played 18 songs. Gaza, Season's End, and Estonia got played every night. The only song they added for one night in Europe was Don't Hurt Yourself, which was in Italy. Otherwise, kind of those 18 songs are the same ones represented in Europe. The kind of rarities in there are a collection, Beyond You, You're Gone, The Space and Power, which all had under 4 plays. Everything else is kind of up there with 9s and 10s.
And how many times did you see them on this tour, then, Nathan?
13.
Did you bank balance? How long did it take to recover?
Are these available as downloads?
Don't think so.
So I'm not. I would be interested to hear the version of Power.
It's on your Live at St. David's Blu-ray. It's one of the.
Oh, it is, yeah.
It's one of the Albert Hall slideshow.
Yeah.
Montage things.
No, the Kensington Working Men's Club.
That one.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was in Liverpool for the first night because
you were. We went to McDonald's afterwards.
Well, there you go. I was in Liverpool for the first night. Because I remember that story that she told about the T-shirts. I think they had those shirts in Liverpool as well. They had bloody loads of them, didn't they? Yeah. Okay. It's a lovely venue, the Philharmonic. It's very white inside, isn't it? Yeah.
I remember Liverpool being hard going for the first bit because they opened with Gaza, went straight into New Kings, and it kind of took until season's end for the gig to get going because it all felt quite heavy up to that point.
And I think they were obviously learning the stuff as well, weren't they? So it doesn't bode well for a great gig, does it? But
so I mean, nothing from these tours is available on the downloads on the Racket Shop.
No,
2019 or 2020.
The sound balance would be quite difficult with all those musicians on stage as well. So that might be a reason why not.
I was just going to say what Nathan said there. I'm going to agree with him straight off where he said it was quite heavy. This was a very heavy set. This tour, the amount of long songs is pretty much unprecedented. And I know seeing the set lists, it was a bit like, oh, this is going to be a bit grueling.
I remember you saying to me, Craig, before we went, you said, bring your hot water bottle and your pillow just in case they play Ocean Cloud. Thankfully, we didn't get it.
Unless you went to Glasgow, and it seems like it was only half the night, half the gig, half the set list.
So there's a little bit of a story there in that H wasn't very well. I remember quite distinctly H saying on stage, "Look, I'm not very well. We kind of need to cut this short. I need to keep my voice for the rest of the tour." And you know,
I will admit to feeling shortchanged. Having seen the set list for some of the previous gigs, I was like, what? But yeah, it's one of those nights, isn't it?
But Glasgow did get a collection, which not very many other people got. So it was special in some ways.
In some ways, yeah.
Should we talk about St David's Hall, because that's where the live album and Blu-ray came from? And some of you were there. I wasn't there because I was at a family wedding.
We were down the front, weren't we, Mark?
We were.
We were right down the front.
After watching it, Guy is next to us as well, I think.
Yeah, he was. Yes. And the funny thing is it's funny because a lot of these songs, where it was standing on the floor at St David's, and it was hot, it was sweaty, but it didn't necessarily feel like what you would expect, like a standing gig, because there was so much of the epics and things and stuff on there you could have probably done with a sit down.
There's 4 tracks that are over 17 minutes. I don't think I've ever seen that at any live gig. 4 tracks, 17 minutes, over 17.
Never seen Transatlantic then, have you?
No.
I have one.
4 tracks.
But I must say that
that's nothing, mate.
The sound in the hall was fantastic, and I think listening to the Blu-ray and listening to the live album, it's one of the best sounding live albums that they've done.
Yeah. I think it sounds, the live album sounds better than the studio album.
Yes,
and it's clearer. Weirdly, it's clearer who's playing what and what's happening. If that makes sense.
It's a very well recorded album.
Yes.
I find that's the. Sorry, Mark.
Go on, Mike. Go on. I
I
don't-
was just going to say, Hollow Man's a prime example of that, John, because I've said in the previous episode that I didn't get that version of it. I didn't really enjoy it. Yet the live version of it on this is absolutely brilliant.
Right.
You know, it
Yeah.
works far better, far better.
Yeah.
St. David's Hall it's one of the best acoustic venues I've ever been to. It was
And we've
built
lost it.
perfectly. I know, yeah. It's gutting really because you normally, well, if you get bigger than that, you lose like a lot of acoustics in different places, you know. And
Should
you
we
don't
go?
get it.
Should we go through the gig? Is it worth it?
Yeah,
Track by track. First
Yeah.
track, Gaza.
it's
Great.
a powerful start.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
Powerful
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
And it's a good version of Gaza, and I think the orchestra does bring something to it. You know, it brings the whole feel of it, and I think it's really, really well done. One thing I
Sorry, mate.
don't know whether it's just me noticing on the way that Tim's shot this, you don't get to see that much of the rear projections on this video. You see more, it's more concentrated on the band and the orchestra and the playing. And there's some
Were they
there's some
there?
wide shots. Well,
It's not that they weren't there because of the venue or anything.
no, they were there.
All
They're
right.
there. The screen's there, but it just doesn't. The way that it's shot, it doesn't focus on the screen media that much. It focuses much more on the performance and on the band than that, and it's a bit different. And I think it's also because the way that the camera angles and the way that the hall is, with it being quite an odd shape, it's it's interesting that way. But Nathan's got something to add there.
My understanding is they actually filmed, or the plan was to film it twice. Once in the afternoon, and then with nobody there, just to kind of get close-ups, things like that, and then once again in the evening. Whether that actually happened or not, I can't remember. But I remember it certainly being the plan was to make sure they kind of got everything they needed, because there wasn't going to be a do-over.
We do
Yeah,
know a
there's no
man who
second
would
night.
know that.
Yes.
We might hopefully speak to him about that. I was a bit concerned when I saw Gaza on the set list, if I'm honest. Initially, before I'd heard it, wondering what the orchestra could bring to Gaza, because there's quite a lot going on in Gaza. It's certainly the first part of the song, but I think as the song goes on, they do bring quite a lot to it. But in the intro, there's not a lot of space for him to be there, is there?
No. I mean, I've never been a massive fan of Gaza. I like it, but I've not been a massive fan. And I think to open the set list with this, when it wasn't on the Friends with the Orchestra album, was a bit of an odd choice.
I'm glad they didn't
You know?
put it on, because it would have been another 20-minute track on there, wouldn't it? You wouldn't have left much space for anything else.
Yeah, but you know, on the Blu-ray film, the string quartet spent half of the time clapping, getting the audience to clap along. And it's like, you know, it's like you said, John, until it gets, you know, really into it, that it like lends itself to something. I don't know. I just think, yes, it's a good, strong opener.
It's probably
But maybe
cold in
just-
Cardiff in
but-
November, you know. They'll be warm in their hands.
Maybe just not in the context of a Friends with the Orchestra tour. I just don't think it quite worked.
But it's
I'm
not
gonna
our
agree.
place on the film, is it?
So that's what
No.
I enjoy watching it. I enjoy it on the Blu-ray. I think it works. I'm glad it wasn't on the album, regardless of length, because I don't think the orchestra add as much perhaps as they do in some of the other tracks. And I think I don't know. I think it would have been out of place compared to some of the other material on the album.
Okay.
Yeah.
But live, it definitely, especially on the Blu-ray, it works. It's a powerful start.
Mark?
Yeah, they really get into it. Those girls on those violins and the cello as well, don't they? They give the old
Well, actually,
you know,
we've talked about the bloody album and not mentioned the Friends, have we, at all? So it should be in the first episode. He says trying to get his booklet out, and I can't bloody get it out now. Nicole Miller, Margaret Hermont, Annemie Osborne, and Maya Frankowski, and then Sam Morris on French horn, and Emma Hanlon
I was going to say, where's
on
Emma?
flute. It does credit Phil Todd, but I think that's the original solo from TSC. I don't think he did anything different on the album. But back to Cardiff, track 2, Beyond You. Craig?
Very, very similar to the album version. I think it works well live. Apart from, like I say, just I wish the ending built up, but it's a nice rendition.
Get out.
I think H does really well on this live.
Vocally wise, yeah,
works really well.
Mikey, anything?
Yeah. I think it works better live than it did on the studio version. Yeah, it was. I think this would have probably. I wish they just opened with Estonia and got into Beyond You, to be honest with you, rather than having Gaza there. But Beyond You works really well live. Yeah.
Okay. Mark, anything to add?
Well, I think they went for the punchy opening with Gaza, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Kick it off.
Yeah.
Beyond You. The nice thing about watching the live Blu-ray is the fact that you can not only hear the emotion, but you can see it on H.
Yeah.
When he does some of the tracks, which I think it brings it out a bit more as well. So yeah, other than that, it's pretty much the same as the album.
Okay.
But good nonetheless.
Great. Anything to add?
So I think Mark's made a really good point there. So I think there is a real distinction for me between listening to this album and watching the show.
Yeah.
And I much prefer to watch the show, because if there is one thing that H is good at, it is playing a part. It is showing the feeling, the emotion, the playing the character. And you don't necessarily get that listening to a live album. I mean, if you were at the gig, so All One Tonight, if you can see, you can imagine the smiles on his face at certain points and the things that he did. But unless you were at the gig for this, I think the Blu-ray for me is a far better experience in the album. And it is that you see the emotion, you see what he's doing. Because I didn't buy the Blu-ray, I didn't have the visuals until the recent sale, and I bought it when they were doing. Yeah, I know. When they were like, these are all a £5, I went, I'll have all of them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's very good of you.
And I put it was the first one I put on, actually, and I sat and I was mesmerised. I really was.
Well, I've had it ages, which is why I couldn't remember about those bonus tracks that Nathan's just reminded me of. So, okay. Track 3, Season's End.
Can I just interject one thing?
Yeah.
I bet you my version of this Blu-ray is different to all of your versions, because mine's an ear music video version that I bought in HMV. I didn't actually buy it from Vacket. I actually bought it physically in a shop.
Blasphemer!
How quaint!
Oh, blimey.
Only said that now. Stephanie's not on the call, hasn't he? Woof.
Now, I think Rother's playing on this version, the live version, is absolutely sublime. He absolutely nails the solo, and I think it sounds fantastic. And again, the mix of this live album is just superb.
Yeah, it really surprised me, actually, how good it is.
Yeah, and I think the mix, the way that they've actually mixed the orchestra in it, the balance is really, really, and it really shows it on this track. And top notch.
Okay, Nath.
Stunning. It is a really good performance of a top track, and just to go back to my comments around the interplay, because you can see it happening.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Okay, Mikey.
Yeah, same. It's absolutely top-notch stuff, and I agree with Craig. Wathers is absolutely amazing on this. Absolutely nails it. I'm gonna back up what Graham said about the visuals and Nathan as well. I have said on this podcast over a few episodes that I don't listen to a lot of Marillion live stuff. I much prefer to watch and listen.
Yeah.
And this is a clear example of where the audio and the visual work really well. and you really get the emotion behind all of the tracks on this. I'll come to another one of the songs later on where I feel that just listening to it doesn't work for me at all. But when I played the Blu-ray again today, I was like, this is a different experience, a totally different experience. But I'll come back to that later on. But Season's End, amazing.
Mark?
Love Brothers at the very beginning of this, where the guitar comes in, and on the Blu-ray you get in the rear speakers and all around you, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And he does tend to get more into the live performance than he does on the album.
Yeah,
beautiful song.
Great.
So I think the band are on fire. I mean, I think they were all like firing on all cylinders. It is a really powerful.
Hence the violin, Grae. Hence the violin on fire.
Exactly. The band were on fire.
But it's not on fire on the cover of this one.
It's not on fire on the cover of that one. No, it's just red like a dragon.
This cover is Mr. Kennedy's work. This one.
It is, and he was very, very happy that one of his covers was actually in the HMV. I did actually take photos of him for him.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that I really enjoy about this. So one of the things I meant to ask Stephanie actually is if Emma was aware of or a fan of Marillion before she did any of the work with him. I'm not sure. But one of the things that I really like when watching the both, All One Tonight or this or what have you, is the smiles on their faces when they are playing, how much they appear to be enjoying themselves playing with the band. It's electric, it's contagious. It makes you smile.
Well, I think the staging helps because they put them right in the centre of the stage, didn't they? They didn't hide them off at the back or anything. No. So, it shows how valued they were as well.
Yeah.
I watched the live Blu-ray last week. I watched bits of it again today. But last night, before I actually listened to most of the whole of the album, studio album, I watched the documentary Making Friends.
Oh yeah, Mike has
watched that. Everything that you've all said just then is all in that documentary. It's
don't tell listeners. Where do you think we get our bloody comments from? None of this is original. Moving on. Estonia,
absolutely superb.
Nath?
For me, it's superb. It came at a really odd time. It was around the anniversary of my granddad's passing, so every night of the tour, and they did play it every night of the tour, was a little bit emotional. It's a stunning version. You can't really fault it.
Do you think, Nathan, that it's almost got like a slightly bigger sound on the live version than the studio one? It just seems a bit more oomph to it.
Okay, Mikey.
Yeah, same. It's absolutely sublime, and I think you're right, Craig. I think it does have something more about it, but I think it's because, to a certain extent, and the girls in the quartet mentioned this in the documentary, is that they play differently live to what they play in the studio. It's not like it's unrehearsed or just ad-libbed or whatever, but there's a certain vibe.
There's a response to the feel.
Yeah. They're responding to the musicians that are on the stage with them, and it feels different. But it's wonderful. The reproduction of it live is absolutely wonderful. Brilliant stuff.
Mark?
They are looking for accuracy on the studio album. When it's live, it's live. And they are, like I say, reacting to everything else around them, and the bounce they get off everybody on stage and in the audience. And I think it looks fantastic. Estonia, you get H. That is probably one of his emotional best performances. I love Estonia. One of my top songs. It's just beautiful.
What was also really nice about Estonia on this tour was pretty much every night H told the story of meeting, I think it's Paul Barnett on the plane. And some nights it got slightly longer, and that was a really nice touch. And I think it went pretty much throughout the entire tour.
It matters. It matters that some songs don't really hit you until you know the stories behind them, and when you can see where they come from and stuff, and that makes a hell of a difference to a lot of Marillion songs.
Yeah, I get that. And I think the point I was making when we were talking about the studio album, about I'd hoped it would catch what they played live at Royal Albert Hall for the All One Tonight show, and they didn't quite make it, is then validated on this. And it ties into what Mikey said and what have you. And Mark's exactly right. If you're recording an album and you're playing strings, you're not playing in the room with a band. You're playing with headphones on in a sterile environment, recording something that you've written down to a beat that's very rigid. When you're playing to a band, even if there's a click track with a band, there's an ebb and flow with Ian and Steve and Rothers and what have you, and they're vibing off each other with the music. It still has to be in the right place at the right time, and they have to meet each other for the changes and all that kind of stuff. But there's that live breath that is there that you don't get in. You very rarely get in a studio, especially nowadays. I mean, if you're talking albums that were recorded in the early 70s, you get it because they recorded them live in a room together as a band. You don't get that now. Very often they don't even sit in the same studio. They send it across the planet to each other and do it. So I think that's why, for me, the live versions of this are better than the studio versions. And this song is just stunning.
Okay. On to Hollow Man.
Rothers is a bit more all over this than he is in the studio version. He's further up the mix, and it adds a bit more to it. Especially live, it just gives it that bit more of an edge.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. If I'm honest, it's I preferred this version to the album one. It has got a little bit more to it. It does make a little bit more sense for me in isolation here, particularly being between. I mean, that's quite a dark period of the gigs. You've got Estonia, Hollow Man, followed by New King, so that's kind of your depressive bit in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look what comes after New Kings. It's not exactly chirpy, is it?
Better, Mikey, Hollow Man.
Yeah, I think this live version works far better than what we got on the studio version. So yeah, another tick box for me.
Okay, Mark.
Call themselves prog. It's only 5 minutes 23 seconds long. No,
how is it 5 minutes? 3 minutes on the album.
Live version's 5:23.
He must be talking at the beginning of that.
He may be. Who knows? I didn't think they chucked those bits in. Called them off.
Yeah, he is gobshating at the end of the Hollow Man.
Yeah, he talks at the end of it. Yeah,
but yeah, great track again. H's emotion comes into it again to bring it out a little bit more. And I think the live performance always will lift it off the CD and off the vinyl every time.
Okay. Anything to add, Grae?
Just that, I mean, it's a better version than the studio version of the Friends version, but I still struggle with it out of context.
All right. Cool. Speaking of struggling with it out of context, the New Kings, Craig.
Mine and your toilet break song.
Absolutely, yes.
When they started to play this, I remember at the gig being the fun thing. Oh God, it's another like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But actually, I like the strings in the start of this. In the first like part of the song. I mean, New Kings is never going to be one of my favorite songs at all, from one of my least favorite albums, so I'm never going to love it. But the version of it's fine. It is. It's well played. Sounds great, but just not one of my favorite songs at all.
No. Okay, Nath.
Yeah, I have to confess, this was my toilet break pretty much every night on the tour. As Craig says, it's a nice version. The opening section is really nicely done. I always enjoy Why Is Nothing Ever True, but it's quite a long song to have in the middle of the set list, and it did hinder the flow of the gigs for me a little bit. Hence why I used to just disappear off and go and take a short toilet break.
Plus, we just had the tour, hadn't we, before it as well?
Yes.
So we heard a lot of this song, yeah.
And the tour and
the one before that. Was that the preview track, wasn't it?
Yeah, they previewed it in like Germany and places like that. So I'd heard it quite a lot by this point.
Yes. Mikey, New Kings.
Meh. I think they could have. I think they could have pulled a better thing to throw on the set list than this. I mean, I think the only reason why it's there is because of the previous tours. You know, it was less for them to rehearse. Like,
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
If I was to pick anything off Fear, I think they should have put the Levers on instead of New Kings. To be fair, but
Absolutely fucking not.
but
What? Really?
Not at that point in the gig.
but it would have been nice for them not to have done anything from Fear off this at all.
Yeah. You know,
Or at least a couple of shorter songs rather than another epic.
White Paper.
Oh,
Mark.
yeah.
I actually argue with a lot of that because I like the New Kings.
Well, argue with it then.
I am.
Is that it? Is that your best?
I don't do arguments very much.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
See? There you go.
I love New Kings because it's.
I'm sorry, this is a cheese shop.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. New Kings is. I mean, it's all come true. We're surrounded by the bloody stuff.
Oh God, he's
Let's
going to
leave
talk about what it's about now. Right.
But
Hey, I was good. I kept off politics.
You did. Well done. Sci-fi as well so
And
far.
there's the cat. Oh, we'll get it to Star Trek in a bit. Don't worry. Yeah, I like the track. Not sure about the placing, and yeah, by the time you've come off the Fear tour, everybody's a bit ground down by it all because Fear is quite a listen, if you know what I mean. It's a, how can you put it? It's heavy. It's a heavy grind. A lot of Fear.
It's heavy subject matter, isn't it? It's
that's what I mean. I love the album, but yeah, it's a lot of weight on your shoulders, a lot of work. You know, let's say it's a heavy album, and maybe people were a little bit worked out.
Okay.
The Fear stuff, but good track nonetheless.
Grae, New Kings.
So, a lot of people will know that I struggled with Fear as an album when it came out. I just didn't get it. There was a lot of it. I was just like, nah. Until I sat leaning against the back wall in a sound check in Wodge and watched them play the bits in the sound checks, and they did White Paper and they did bits of this and it has been, particularly this has been one of my favorite things from the album since. I don't know what happened, but seeing it live, it clicked. And I love this. Is it long? Yeah. It's not the only bloody long song in this set, though. I mean, a lot of the yes, we'd had a lot of it recently, but there's songs in that set that have been played ad infinitum.
Yeah, but they're good.
Oh, in your opinion, we're all entitled to them, same as arseholes. I'd have dropped Sky Above the Rain instead.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, what was that?
That was
Craig.
that was Craig's. That was Craig's cat, I think, rather than Craig.
Pepper, yeah.
Yeah.
Craig, speaking of Sky Above the Rain, it's next in the set list.
No, it's for this. Yeah, it's for this. Yeah.
I think this version is absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, my highlight is the guitar Steve Hogarth's playing. If I'm honest, I think that's wonderful. He doesn't play it very often.
Which one is it?
It is a Gibson something or other off the top of my head. It looks a little bit like a Les Paul, but I don't think it is a Les Paul. And I think he only plays it on Sky Above the Rain.
And what's the serial number?
Yeah.
Okay. Mikey?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't think it's groundbreakingly different to what they did on the album version of it, but yeah, top-notch stuff. Enjoyed it.
Okay. Mark?
This one digs me quite a lot. And sometimes I do get a bit upset while listening to it, and sometimes I don't. I'm getting tough in the old age. But yeah, great track. Another very up and down kind of roller coaster emotional track for me. But it is a great track. So I'll leave it there.
All right. Great. You've already said you shouldn't be in the set list.
So, I mean, I said about the studio version. I much prefer the original. I can put the original on.
I think you said it was a travesty, didn't you?
For this version, yeah.
You did, yeah.
I did, yeah.
No, you didn't. I did. I'm just trying to drop you in it.
I'll take the hit, because the original album version of this song breaks me when I listen to it. I need to have a box of Kleenex sitting around. There is just something about it which just resonates so powerfully, and this version leaves me cold.
Separated Out, Craig.
Are you not going to comment on it then, John?
I'm not saying anything about it. Just let you lot. I haven't commented on it so far. It's taken you half the set list to realise that.
Is there a reason?
There is a reason. I haven't watched it recently.
Oh,
I've been playing the album and I haven't watched. I've played the CD, but I haven't watched the Blu-ray. So,
all right, okay.
Anyway, Craig's Separated Out.
I think Separated Out with the orchestra works really, really well. The girls seem to love playing it. They get an absolute kick out of it every time they play it, and I think it was. I mean, which was it? Did it first come out on the A to Z set list at PZ? Is that when it was first from, or was it before?
They played a Legacy. Was a Legacy the first thing they played, Nath?
No, you're talking about the first time they played Separated Out, aren't you?
Oh, sorry.
It was definitely 8 to Z, because we were all thinking, what the hell they're going to do?
I beg your pardon,
It was, yes, 2011 was the first time it was played, and they did a bit of Black Dog as well, which they didn't play this time around.
So it's become a staple occasionally of playing it, and with the girls and the rest of the orchestra thing, I think it works well. It's good fun, and it's one of the rare up songs in this set list. And I mean, to be fair, I think the set list could have done with something a bit more
it's
uplifting than that in it.
On paper, it's not. It doesn't flow as a set list, does it?
No, and it's some of it is quite heavy going, with them being a lot of epics on there, but it actually works to watch it on Blu-ray, but it also works to listen to the live album itself on its own, so but no, I think it's absolutely cracking.
Okay, Nath?
Loved it every night. The girls stand up, they kind of take that attention there. As Craig says, it's quite an up song, it's quite sing along, and you can see, typically because it was towards the end of a gig, you could kind of see everybody relax and go, the hard work's done, we can just enjoy this.
Okay, Mikey?
This was the track I was alluding to, where I said that listening to it on audio didn't quite gel with me, but when you watch it on the Blu-ray, it just gives it a different dimension. I wish they just played Separated Out straight without the Kashmir bit shoved in the middle, but it did lend itself to the orchestration, so I will give them that.
I think it works great live, and you can see the girls really bouncing through the Kashmir.
But that's what I was saying. For me, listening to it, when I was at the gig, I loved it. Watching it on the Blu-ray, I love it. Listening to it isolated doesn't quite work for me, and I don't know why.
Okay, Mark?
I love this track. It's the all the freaks are together, let's have a party song, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's our punch in the air. It's our time to start, whooping it up. So
we accept one of us.
Absolutely.
Okay. Grae?
I can't. So in this gig, was this one of the encore tracks in this gig?
Yeah, it was the first track, I think, first encore track.
Yeah, because they finished with it in Glasgow. Which was it was the end point, and it was really enjoyable because it had that ballsy thing to it. I think it's really enjoyable, and I think again the visuals of having the girls up on their feet, giving it the big licks and all that kind of stuff. I think it really, really works. I think it's one of the good examples of where watching the show is much better than listening to the show.
Yeah. Okay. Ocean Cloud, Craig.
It's heavy going 3/4 of the way through a gig when you're standing near the front and you've had some other epics in the way through. I remember it being tough going on the night, but like I say, I love this version of it, and I think the visuals and the fact that, as we mentioned in the previous episode, you can hear the bit more of the sea shanty subtle bits in, and no, I really like it. I really do.
Cool. Nath?
It's my I think it's my one clear appearance on the Blu-ray at the end of Ocean.
Is it?
So yeah, it's a nice version, but as Craig says, by this point in the gig, I was starting to think, okay, this is starting to get a little bit much. My feet are starting to hurt. Can we think about going home at this point?
We could have done it with it being a seated gig.
Well, it was. If you say we were further back, it was all seated, wasn't it? It's just the floor bit that he was stood on.
Yeah.
Mikey?
Moving on.
Mark?
I've been kind enough.
Yeah, it took me back to PZ when they first, remember when they had all the screens down the sides and all on the stage as well, where it looked like he was in the sea.
Yeah.
And so it gives me that bit of a thing. And I know why you go for a pee break now, John, because on the back thing is all our water and the
it doesn't help.
Waves, and it
doesn't help.
Gotta go, mate. You gotta go.
Subliminal.
Yeah. And like, again, it's another track that I think is lifted in a live performance.
Grae? Sorry, I think he's fallen asleep, listeners.
No, he's not. He's wide awake. So, I mean, what is it?
Let's get into him.
It is. So, I mean, the end of this gig, God almighty, if you like, it's like you need to make sure you like the songs, because there's only 3 of them. You know what I mean? It was like, what was it, 40 minutes of music for 3 tracks or something? You know, and I just think...
Sprog, mate, what do you want?
I know.
It's one of those...
This has been a heavy... Yeah. It's been a heavy set.
Yeah,
this is one of the tours I think would have been difficult for somebody to bring another half along without any kind of pop songs or anything like...
Yeah, don't ever show or play this to any new Marillion fan.
Oh, God. But I think the version is better than the album version. As in the Friends of the Orchestra album version. But I'm kind of glad it wasn't at the Glasgow gig, because we got Man of 1,000 Faces and Great Escape.
It was only played 4 times on the tour, so it was played on the first 2 dates, so Liverpool, Nottingham, and then one of the Albert Halls and here. So it was only played 4 times on the entire tour.
Okay.
Fantastic place, Craig.
Similar to the album version, it works okay, and it's always a good live track. I think there's got a little bit more oomph to it live, a bit like what was said about one of the other tracks. But yeah, fantastic place. It's a staple of the live tour. The orchestra helps it a bit, but not greatly. But I enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it.
Okay. Nath?
It did. It as Craig said, it's a nice version. Whether it works where it is in the set list, I'm not quite sure.
Should have been earlier.
Encore song. Yeah, I think it should be earlier, and potentially separated out, moves down for me to bring that encore.
Swap them over.
Yeah.
Mikey?
Yeah, I think it should have been elsewhere in the set as well. But what I will say is that when I mentioned it in the previous episode, I said that it had lost some power on the Friends with the Orchestra version. I think you get some of that back live. But yeah, definitely misplaced on the set list, in my opinion.
Okay. Mark?
Love the track, but again, it should have been a bit further down, maybe swap with Separated Out, or a bit further down the track list again.
Yeah. Grae?
So on that set list, I think it's in the wrong place. On the night we got it, it was the first encore, followed by Separated Out, which I think worked. But it does add a little bit more than the Friends from the orchestra version, the studio version. I think there's more balls to it, as there is to most of this. And I think it's Rother's live sound rather than the studio sound. Always has just a little bit more edge to it. Ian's always well set up studio, stage wise with sound. So there's more to the actual breadth and depth of the album, and I think it shows in this song.
Yeah. Okay. Final track of the gig, This Strange Engine.
They've used this track quite a lot for encores and things like that over the years. I think it's gained a lot of notoriety over the years to be in a end of song or like penultimate song on a tour. Love it. This version's great. Rather solo, absolutely stunning. The orchestra works well with it. H is well into it. It's an emotional performance. Top-notch stuff. Top-notch stuff. But I just wish there was something after this as well, like a something big and silly. But you know, we're like big and silly endings of gigs.
Okay, Nathan.
I'm going to echo everything Craig said. My only criticism of it would be they try to manufacture a confetti moment where there isn't one.
Yeah, that's why I say it's something big and silly to end with.
It's almost like they needed to do like the end section of the Levers just for the DVD to have the confetti moment. I remember thinking at the time, this isn't a confetti moment. This is just, oh hell, we need to have some confetti to make it look nice for the Blu-ray. Now's a good time. Let's set it off.
Yeah. Mikey?
Wholeheartedly agree with everything that's been said so far. The only shame for me is I think H was suffering vocally towards the end of that. He feels like he breaks quite a few times. He doesn't quite hit notes, or he changes his vocal registers to fit where his vocal strain was at the time. And it's a shame because when you watch him, you can see the emotion, you can see he's trying to deliver it, and he just doesn't quite get there. It's a crying shame because it's a fantastic Stonkman version of it anyway. But I agree, there is no confetti moment there. It really shouldn't have been the last track that we got.
It's only 4 days after the Glasgow gig where we said he wasn't great. So
in context, it makes sense, you know.
And I have to say, Southend the night before was also a slightly shorter gig. So it was almost like they were going, let's get to Cardiff, let's make sure the voice is still there and we've got a show.
Yeah.
I think it's the only track on the entire set list though where you can hear his voice faltering, and it's only really at the end. So to get through,
well, it's that big scream finish, isn't it? You know.
That's it. Yeah.
It always takes it out of him.
Yeah. Mark.
And a big scream it is, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got 11 songs, right? 2 hours, 11 minutes. 4 of those tracks are over 17 minutes long. Another 2 tracks are over 10 minutes long. That takes it out of you, man.
But have you not noticed lately that the set lists don't tend to go over 2 hours now?
None now, no.
They've pared it back by a good 15 or 20 minutes to like an hour.
It's like the weekends. They spread the gigs out a bit more. All right, they get the Saturday and the Sunday, but none of us are getting any older, younger.
What did you say there, John?
You got to appreciate that.
Sorry,
I can't hear you, John.
I said it's going to be different next time. They're going to spread it differently. I think they're doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday off, and they're doing Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why, but anything to add for TSE, Grae?
No, I mean, I as I say, the With Friends version converted me. You know, I'd been fairly nonplussed about it, and I think this version builds on that. There's a bit of, and I think kind of the voice breaking kind of helps. The voice, with the emotion bit, and you see in him, it works, but it's the second 17-minute song in 45 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like,
having said all of this, it's a great watch.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, fantastic.
Absolutely, and it is still in the I've just looked while we were talking, it's still in the Racket shop, so you can still buy it. It's
a brilliant watch, but I think if I'd been at the gig, I'd have been exhausted.
We were.
Yeah, we were
absolutely exhausted.
We were spent, Grae.
Yeah. We were well spent.
Because it's a hell of a gig.
Yeah. It's a good gig. It's a good gig. Despite everything we've just said here, you know, It's a good
And
gig.
Tim's done a fantastic job with it,
Yeah.
as ever.
Yeah.
You know,
So
you-
the-
you
yeah,
know,
the
video-
there's
the video
safe
is
pair of
brilliant.
hands,
Yeah.
safe pair of hands.
I've
And-
got to say something here because I don't know about everybody else's version, but there's quite a bit of grain comes through in some shots on what I watched. And I don't know whether it
Hang
can
on, what size is your screen?
65-inch OLED.
There's your problem.
There's your problem. But there's also the fact I think so.
Absolute dickhead. You watched it on a fucking outdoor cinema.
But it's also quite a dark film, isn't it?
It is,
It's quite,
it is,
you know,
yeah.
and if you listen to what Tim said in the episode, when he's filming
Yeah.
dark stuff, it makes it really difficult.
You
Yeah,
watched
yeah.
it at a drive-through.
was it
Well, that's what
IMAX?
it is.
A drive-in.
That's what
Sorry,
it is, then.
drive-in. Sorry.
John,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
your point,
Yeah.
where you said, despite what we've said about this, I think one of the things you need to understand is we're all spoiled. If you think
Yeah.
about what we have seen and how often we've seen songs played and the experiences we've had, it is very easy to go, yeah, do you know what? It's all right. But if you've only seen these things once or twice, it will still be that sort of euphoric experience that we've had.
And it's a good point, but I think it's a bit of a given if you've got this far into this podcast. You know, we're not entitled. We just see them a lot.
Yeah.
You know, Nathan sees them more than we do. So,
Together.
you know, his critique of this tour is based on him seeing almost every bloody night. Well,
Nathan had long hair when he started seeing this band.
But
Well,
yeah,
I think
it's a fair point, Grae.
Yeah, I think we've also spoiled that, you know, they've got such a good relationship with Tim, and it's still valuable enough for us to get, you know, these live shows of pretty much all the tours of the last like 10 or 15 years. You know, most people have given up because they can't afford. I mean, we talked to Tim a while on the Planet Music episode about, you know, the
viability of it,
industry,
yeah.
the viability of it. And, you know, so we are really, really lucky to still be able to get this stuff, and that it's still
And I think
now.
also, if you look at the band's willingness to share live material, so you look at the Front Row Club, the new digital Front Row Club, you look at the digital downloads from the tours up, all over the years that were just like the day after the gig is available. So there's a wealth of stuff that very few bands make available. So we are spoiled for choice. And
But obviously there's an appetite for it, otherwise they wouldn't do it.
well, exactly, yeah. I mean, I don't know, between us, we've probably bought everything, haven't we?
No, between you and John, Grae.
Well, if there's a recording of the Gateshead Sage from this tour, that would make a good digital Front Row Club release, I think. Because
sorry, you're speaking to James now, are you?
Yeah.
Well, just
James
whoever's
Levey,
listening, you know.
Yeah.
Was Gates had the show where we all had the country and western wristbands to get onto the standing area?
It was, yeah. It was, yeah. And that's where they lower it. So you know, you're looking up at like a 7 or 8 foot stage, aren't you? You'll have neck ache. This has actually come out on vinyl. This live gig, hasn't it?
Oh, are you sliding?
It's double CD, and it's time for twice in one episode.
Oh, it's not 2 episodes.
No.
Sorry, but I do have it, but it's back in the box. I didn't bring it out.
Yeah, well, this is a triple album on violet vinyl. This is the Adele Records version. It's rather nice, Mike, isn't it?
It's very pretty. Can't say I've played side 5, but, you know, otherwise, very good.
I think you should try side 5.
It sounds good. It's a good
Maybe
pressing
one day.
again.
Especially when you
It's a
need to
very
go when you need to go to the toilet. I think you should play it.
Yes, another fantastic pressing, actually. It's really good.
But
yeah, and as I've said in passing, the 2 Blu-ray set is still available at Marillion.com.
And should we talk about the other stuff that's on the 2 Blu-ray set?
If you wanna.
Because I think you've got the Paris Man of 1,000 Faces. I mean, Nathan, how many times was it played in the UK?
It was played in the UK.
Because Glasgow got it. Yeah, so
times.
I know Glasgow got it, and you know, so you've got that. You've got.
But there's a choir version, isn't there?
There's a choir, yeah.
Yeah. You've got Estonia,
really
which is
fun,
the
actually,
promo film background stuff, isn't it? The backdrop movie.
Yeah.
and then you've got 1, 2, 3 live in Kensington recordings.
Yeah.
Nudge, wink, wink.
Called that. Nudge, wink, that. Called, of course. Yeah, exactly. Then obviously the Making Friends documentary that we've all pilfered
the
notes from.
Kensington tracks are 3 of the ones that weren't played widely, were they? You're Gone, Power, and a Collection.
Yeah. And then you have the stereo and the 5.1 version of the album in 96.
Which I have to say, if you're into your surround, the Blu-ray's worth it for that.
It's worth it for that. For getting the surround sound. The
surround mix of the gig is one of those awful ones where you just have ambient noise in the rear speakers. Really, there's not much going on, which is a bit disappointing, but fair enough.
But the surround mix of the studio album you quite like.
It's brilliant.
I have completely 180 in the last week.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Get it at a decent volume. It's amazing. It's not all singing, all dancing, but it sounds wonderful, and you can hear things that you just can't hear on the stereo version, which is what a surround mix should be.
Totally agree.
Anyhow, we've talked about Marillion with friends from the orchestra and at St David's now for almost 3 hours. You haven't heard 3 hours because this episode is shorter, but we've talked about it for a long time. So all that remains to be said is thank you very much to Mark Owens.
Loved it.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, Grae Tennick.
As always, a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mikie Kay.
It's been great fun. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, mate. And thank you, Nathan Page.
Thank you both.
Thank you very much. Thank you to my other half, Craig Houston.
Why, thank you, young sir.
All that remains to be said is it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Take care.
Somebody do it for us.
Stay alive.
Thank you, Nathan.
Yay.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for listening to Planet Marzipan Podcast. Please like and subscribe from whichever platform you get your podcasts from. You can contact us at planetmarzipanpodcast@gmail.com and check out marillion.com, fishmusic.scot for all